Whoa! What's up, guys? Danny Ellis, of course. Welcome back to another vlog. So yeah, guys, I'm just getting out of work after a very, very long day. And yeah, hair's a little bit messy, but let it be messy because I'm gonna cut it very, very soon. So let it run its course, I guess. But what I was thinking about all day today was a topic that's on my mind frequently. And that's the music industry. I know I've discussed the music industry quite a bit on this channel, but there's always, there's this one thing that I love to call, I guess you could say, like the music conspiracy. And I have this conversation with friends a lot of people who actually agree with me, that like there seems to be, it's really, really weird. Like there seems to be some kind of mass conspiracy almost going on in the music industry. I know a lot of people out there are going to think I'm crazy, you know, spewing off conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But it is strange to think about, you know, because what me and my friends always talk about is that, you know, we were realizing over the past couple of years that more and more, the bands we listen to are all on the underground. They're all underground bands. They barely have any recognition. I mean, they might be signed to like, you know, like lesser labels, like minor record labels and stuff like that. They're playing shows, they're still getting out there and stuff like that, but they don't have the recognition of like pop stars, you know, they're not mainstream, right? And they'll never be mainstream. Why? Well, because of the music that they play. It's like, it's really, really super progressive, and it can be experimental. And a lot of people, for some reason, don't like that. They don't like a lot of experimentation, a lot of progression, a lot of new sounds, new experiences, and stuff like that. But it's not noise, it's beautiful music. You know, it's just that people, it's not appealing to everyone, so they're not supposed to like it. And it's weird to think about how many bands you actually listen to that aren't popular. You know, how many bands do we listen to that aren't on the radio? Well, quite a few, right? Quite a lot. We listen to a lot of bands. I mean, I listen to, you know, things like YouTube and stuff like that. That's where I get all my music from. I never listen to the radio, never listen to TV, you know. Our bands are never playing at, you know, the Video Music Awards or like all these big award shows that they've always got going on, always saying that this is America's music and America's performance and America's bands. It's like, I've never seen my bands up there. My bands are never performing on stage, and they never will be, because they'll always be in that underground scene. And it almost makes you think, you know, it's like, is there some kind of conspiracy going on in like the music industry? Like, why is it that you have to be a certain style, sing a certain way, even look and dress a certain way, sing about specific subjects, sound a certain way, and just have that specific style that only big record companies are looking for, and that's the only thing that they put out? It's like they have like specific genres and styles of music, and then that's all they produce. And that's why everybody sounds the same. That's why you have all these overnight artists coming out. Why do you think people appear just overnight? You know, all of a sudden you'll see someone on TV and you'll be like, who the hell is that? Like, but because they just got here overnight. Where did they come from? Well, they're friends of other musicians and friends of producers. It's this cherry picking that's going on around LA. Everybody has decided that they're the best, and they're never going to find anything better than what's just there around LA, so they just cherry pick all these people, and then they all end up sounding the same. Once again, why? Because they don't have their own sounds. They don't have their own styles. They're not actually doing anything unique, like real bands out there who are actually constructing their own music. And you start to think, you start to realize that I think that the music industry is doing this on purpose, because the reason is, if people out there start to realize, if the mass public, general public, right, starts to realize that there's this really complex, beautifully written, masterfully written music going on here, well, then people slowly start to realize, well, hold on a second, where's this music been? Why haven't you guys been signing these people? Well, because the record companies, they can't create them. See, it's easy to create pop stars and pop icons because they write their music for them, they completely control how they look, how they sound, everything, right? Everything's very simplistic, because when things are simplistic, nothing is complex. You don't have to think, you don't have to work, and things just run themselves, right? People just copy the sound that they've heard before them, and then they're famous, and it's just like an endless chain. Why do you think that record companies, these major labels, never have time to see the little guy? Because they've got their agenda running already. They know who they're going to sign next. It's just like what's a good example to use? It's almost like the drafting people almost, right? Like this person will be famous because I said so, and this person will be famous because I like them. Instead of actually looking for talent, and that's why talent remains on the underground. These major labels, they want to keep that on the underground. They want to keep that stuff a secret. They want to keep people's noses upturned to that kind of music and snooty, turning away from that kind of music and only listening to what's on the radio. They want to keep that trust in the radio and MTV and places like that so that they can actually focus people's attention and say, like, this is music. All that stuff on the underground, you don't need to pay attention to. Oh, don't listen to that. Don't pay attention to that. Just listen to what's on the radio. This is the good stuff, because that's what works for them, right? But if real talent, right, we're actually to emerge. I'm not saying that real talent isn't out there in the mainstream. There's lots of bands out there in the mainstream that have struggled and made their way all the way up there, and they're really super talented. But you know what? There's not a lot of them. I mean, go on Google and look up a list of like pop stars and pop icons. Google will have a list. They'll have a whole complete list, up to date 2017. First of all, see if you can identify anyone. And then second of all, see if anyone actually has any talent, or do they just sound like the next person? And like 80% of the time, they will all sound like the person before them. Similar lyrics, similar sounds, similar styles, tones, rhythms, beats, everything. Singing styles, right? It's all the same. That's why music today is always complained about. What's the number one complaint about mainstream music today? It's so repetitive. It's so repetitive. It all sounds the same. Why do you think it's repetitive and sounds the same? Because the music labels, the major labels, aren't doing their jobs anymore. They're supposed to be actively scouting for bands, not in Los Angeles, all over the United States. And stop taking the easy way out where you hear a band with one good song and you're like, oh yeah, I'll sign them because they're good. No. You guys need to search, actually really search. Put your nose to the grindstone and search for actual talent out there. Because actual talent is what's going to drive your industry. It's kind of nonsensical to be telling major labels what to do with themselves. They know this, right? But it's because they have such easy control and easy access. They don't want to change that. These guys are just sitting back in their offices collecting dollars. They don't care about actual musical talent. Musical talent? People don't care about musical talent. People don't want new and different. People want what they've already heard before, but just with different chicks on the cover, right? And that's the downfall of the music industry. Talent is not paid attention to anymore. It's just ease of access. Who's there? Who can I create that'll keep my life easy, right? But isn't that nonsensical? Shouldn't you guys be actively going after actual talent? Because that's what's going to keep you alive. After a while, after a couple of years, that process is going to fizzle out. People are going to catch on. People are going to realize, man, have I been listening to the same artist? No, I haven't been listening to the same artist. I've been listening to 20 different artists, but they all sound the same. After a while, people are going to catch on. They're going to say, wait a minute, like, this is boring. This is repetitive. This is generic. Who are these people that I don't know? They're coming out every day with these new albums and then disappearing the next day. No, we need actual musicians with talent that will be long-lasting. Why do you think some of the greatest bands in America, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, you could just name off Tom Petty, right, who just recently passed away, right? All of these great musicians, right? Why do you think these guys are all still around? Because they're great musicians, right? Cream always rises to the top. Real talent always stays around. Real talent never disappears. It sticks around because it continues to garner attention. Why? Because it's actual talent. It's good. People recognize actual talent when they see it. You can't BS people forever. People are going to catch on after a while. And now that I've caught my breath, I think it's time for you guys to leave all of your thoughts and opinions, because I think you guys can get, the gist of where I'm coming from here is that it's almost as if there's some kind of mass conspiracy going on in the music industry to where they want to keep bands with actual talent down so that they don't have to recognize that, so that they don't have to recreate that and reproduce that, and they can just sit in their office and just continue to count their dollars. Well, guess what, guys? Art doesn't accept that. The culture of art on this planet does not accept that point of view. Art will always come through. We need real talented people to continue to drive the art industry, because who else would you want there, obviously, right? So, a lot to think about there in this conversation, so of course leave all of your thoughts and opinions down below. I want to hear from you guys now. Let's get the conversation going. And as always, until next we meet, guys, take care, and I'll see you back for the next vlog very soon. Later.